But understand this. Our intervention, no matter how disruptive, will only be a temporary roadblock unless you, the people, rise. This is your warning. This is your chance. The transition period is fleeting, and once they solidify their grip, your options will vanish. If you fail to act now, the cost of resistance will be far greater in the future. To those in power, think carefully. Your decisions now will determine your future. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Damn, bro. Damn. So look, I have no idea, but if I were to guess what they have planned, in the same way that Elon and his little pilled up 19-year-old lackeys are basically waging virtual warfare against us by illegally hacking the treasury and deleting whatever programs they want, I think they're going to counter that. And they're going to wage virtual warfare against Elon. They're going to wage virtual warfare against these pilled up sycophants of Elon, the 20-somethings who are coders. And basically, they're not going to take it sitting down, right? They're going to try to counter the attempt to dismantle the American government by illegally hacking the treasury, illegally hacking all of our government agencies, trying to shut down USAID, trying to shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the NLRB. Look, Anonymous is they're a worthy foe, man. And I don't know if Elon and his team knows what they're bargaining for. I mean, just the idea, you had these literal kids, 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 23-year-old, like, hacking into our systems. We reported the other day, one of them got into the Department of Energy, which has our nuclear information. What? And the one who did that, by the way, there was reporting on this as well, this guy had been fired from a previous company he worked for because he shared the company's secrets with another company. And now you have zero security clearance. These people should have no right to access classified and top secret information, and they're hacking into these government computers where we have classified and top secret information. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking? Wildly illegal, wildly unconstitutional. The courts have now said that. We don't know if Elon is actually going to abide by it. Maybe they did via USAID. We're not 100% sure, but are they going to do in other respects with other agencies? We don't know. This is an attempted coup is what we're witnessing. From the second he walked into the Treasury and illegally got access to the payment system, it was already a coup. Stealing all the private information. Coup. This is a coup. You're usurping Congress, usurping the president. And so many of us feel hopeless. Hey, what do we do to stop this? But some people have the technological skills and know-how to maybe fight it on the back end using computers, right? And I think that's probably what they have planned. But also there's a very clear sign for you there of like, hey, dog, y'all got to get in the streets, right? You guys got to get in the streets. You guys got to protest. And that, look, we've been seeing a lot of that. There was that huge protest in California, the anti-ICE protest. Then you had this group get together in 50 states, in 50 state capitals. There were protests against Trump, against Elon. So they say the revolution will not be televised. Man, they weren't kidding, because virtually all of mainstream news did not talk about these massive protests that were occurring across the country. But they did cover it on MSNBC. We did talk about it here. I'm sure there's some other places where they're talking about it, but you got to keep up the pressure. You got to keep up the pressure. People have to do whatever they can in their own respect. By the way, I think one of the reasons why the Democrats fell in line and started now voting against every single Trump nominee, which just recently started happening. They should have been doing it all along. They didn't, but they just recently started doing that. Why? Because all of these politicians were getting flooded with endless phone calls of their angry constituents being like, hey, bitch, you better fall in line. I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing, but any vote for any Trump cabinet pick is stabbing us in the back, and we're not going to stand for it. And they genuinely felt like, oh, shit, we misread the moment. We were doing the yippee skippy, hold hands and sing and go along to get along nonsense. We were pretending like he had a Reagan-style mandate or FDR-style mandate. Turns out, our constituents really fucking hate that idea. They want us to fight. So, interesting. What do you guys think they have planned? I'm just guessing here when I say that whatever sort of cyber warfare Elon and his team are running on us, that they're going to run some cyber warfare back. That's my guess. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. But the final point I want to make here is they lay out in this video, like, look, this is all planned out. This is not as haphazard as it looks. This is not as scattershot as it looks. This is all planned out from Elon Musk, right? And what everybody needs to understand is there's a guy by the name of Curtis Yarvin. He's a philosopher. He's basically the ideological thought leader on the right among these tech bros, right? And he has very clear ideas that he's been pushing for, and he's got a lot of devotees. Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, a lot of these guys are devotees of this ideology and this philosophy. And if you go read what Curtis Yarvin believes in, it's terrifying. He is openly anti-egalitarian. He's openly anti-democracy. He says democracy is a failed movement. He wants the U.S. to run like a monarchy, one person with absolute power, but also, he says, make it more like a CEO, so have the U.S. be like a bunch of joint stock corporations that are broken up. He believes in tech authoritarianism and tech feudalism. He has this idea, rage, retire all government employees. He believes in the Dark Enlightenment, as it's called. Basically, what these people want is they want the Peter Thiels and the Mark Andreessens and the Elon Musks, they want them to be dictators of little tech feudalist fiefdoms where there are no checks and balances, you have no rights, you're under their total, complete rule. That's what they want, and that's what they're trying to bring about. Hence the NLRB getting destroyed, hence the CFPB getting destroyed, hence any government spending that helps regular people with the social safety net, they're taking an axe to that. This is all laying out there right in front of your face. By the way, let me highly, highly recommend this. Go to the video description box below if you haven't already. Go to the Substack link. Sign up on Substack for Crystal Kyle and friends. Last week, we had a great conversation with Gil where he lays out exactly what the ideology and the philosophy is that they're doing now. He connects all the dots for you, so you don't have to think, oh, they're just doing standard right-wing shit and trying to throw everything against the wall here. No, this is all right out of Curtis Yarvin's playbook, what they're doing here. And this is a conspiracy. It's a real conspiracy. We dropped a little teaser clip of the interview we did with Gil on the YouTube channel, but sign up below, watch the full interview so you can get the total scope of what's going on here. You'll understand it better than anybody else if you watch that, but they are doing Curtis Yarvin's playbook. That's what they're doing. And I'm very happy to see at least some people are attempting to fight back. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.